Australian Open Life, we tell stories, and our story is tennis. And the stories around the tennis world today is obviously day one at Wimbledon, first round, run and won. For those that won, it's the second round, into the second round. And we're here with the second instalment of As It Happened. So let's not muck around, let's just get straight into it. Oh dear, that's better. Yeah, welcome back to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories, and our story is tennis, and we are getting into As It Happened. So we're just going to bring up the schedule. If the Wimbledon website lets us do that. So let's get through. Here we go. We're up to the schedule. So we're looking at the not the results, the upcoming. We're looking for day one. If we can find it, there we go. Just clicking around day one schedule, and so we're going to put this on screen for you because we're going to be coming back to this from time to time. So just bear with us while we get this up to show you what we are up for. So if you've missed the earlier, missed earlier on, we had a preamble just to introduce this new content format, and so won't be repeating ourselves. We've set up a playlist, set up a podcast for this Australian Open Life. So don't worry if you feel like you may or may not be able to join us live, or you just much like the rest of us, you're sick of clicking through apps and websites and this and that, the other. All you have to do is plug in this Australian Open Life As It Happened into your browser or your YouTube search, and there'll be a podcast there waiting for you. You can join the conversation anytime you like, and please subscribe, give us some feedback, give us some comments, let us know what your thoughts are about the tournament at Wimbledon. And so let's crack straight into it. That from time to time we'll be dropping in and out from one court to the other, and to help you navigate this content format. Every time you hear this, that little stinger will be announcing that we're making a transition to another court or another news update. So hopefully this will be very dynamic for the listener. Let us know that we want to keep you as engaged as possible, not just audio wise, but also visually. So we'll have this running along in the background. This is our content library, which we have been around shooting at Melbourne Park for a couple of years now. Obviously, this Australian Open life, we are all about the Australian Open, but we have this content library. We own the rights and the proprietary rights, the intellectual property to this footage. So to keep you engaged in our content, this will be running along in the background to introduce you to Melbourne and also Melbourne Park. So let's get into it, and let's see first round, day one, as it happened. Rightio, so let's see what was going on. There's the schedule, but we're not going by the schedule. We're getting around the public domain with all the information that's out there, is where we're collecting all this stuff. So let's take a look. What was going on day one? Well, Jessica Pegula was leading Joanne Davis of Great Britain by a set, and she was actually on serve in the second set, leading by 2 throughout that, over across on one of the other courts. And we're going to go through this fairly quickly because we want to keep this as dynamic as we can, but we're going to fill you in on players as we go. But we're going to keep it as short and sharp as possible for you. If we run out of time, we don't get through all the as it happened action in this particular episode, we're going to keep them in installments of 30 minutes tops. So help us out. Keep an eye on the clock for us as well. So let's see how we go. Andrei Rublev was playing Australia's Max Purcell in their opening match. All these matches starting at 11 o'clock was the start of play for all courts, up to 18 courts with pretty much 4 matches scheduled on each. A couple of ladies' matches, a couple of gentlemen's matches. So Andrei Rublev, you'll notice that these news items will mostly be about the leading players, but because the coverage that we're trying to bring you, all the players, whether they're seated or not, up the top end or not, and so you may also recognise a few names from our previous live streams over the last 4 days, which were about the qualifying rounds, the 3 rounds of qualifying that took place last week to sort out the wheat from the chaff. The lucky winners getting through to earn a main draw at Wimbledon starting, yesterday Melbourne time, last night Melbourne time. So I've interrupted myself a couple of times. Andrei Rublev, he was leading Max Purcell, the Australian, by a set, but he was down a break in the second. The Italian, Massetti, was leading another Italian, I think it was. So excuse me while I dip around. These guys, Massetti, the Italian, was leading. Is he from Peru? That can't be right. Really? He is from Peru. Juan Pablo Varillas. So that particular match was in the second set, where Massetti was leading by a set and a double break. Victoria Azarenka was leading 6-2, 2-all, leading the Chinese player Yuan, and Harriet Dart, the British player. Now I'm pretty sure she was given a wild card. Excuse me while I take a sip of tea, and I'm just going to check to see how things are going on screen. Yes, we're tracking along very slowly along the Yarra River there for you, visually, to keep you engaged. Now, Harriet Dart, she was playing her opponent. Let me just check. That she was playing the French woman Parry out on court 12. And Harriet Dart was, she's come from a breakdown to lead Parry 6-5 on serve in the first set. Okay, so moving on. Moving on. Parry and Dart, oh boy, they've drawn 6-all in the first set. Rublev, he's the number 7 seed. He won the first set, but oh boy, Max Purcell's coming back. Go Max. He is up. Rublev now down 3-5 in the second set. And Martic, now let me just double check, because I like to get my facts straight. Martic, she's playing. Who is she playing? Martic. Martic of Croatia. She is leading the Czech player Fuvritova, currently leading 5-7 in the first. Okay, moving right along. Moving right along. Continuing with that match we just described. That Linda Furtova from the Czech Republic, I didn't know, she's only just 18. And according to those in the know, a really serious prospect. Well, there you go. We learn something all the time, because that's what we're all about at this Australian Open Life. The stories that we want to bring you is about these up-and-coming players, as well as the players breaking through in their late 20s for their first Grand Slam. We've come across a couple of them in qualifying. Now, it turns out that Linda Fruhvirtova has a younger sister. Can you believe this? Brenda Fruhvirtova. Now, she's also just as talented, according to those in the know, just as talented, just as brilliant as her sister, older sister, Linda, but the results in qualifying didn't quite go her way, and she lost to a Chinese player, Zhang Zhui. Okay, so moving right along here to the next news item. Well, we're back to the match between Rublev and Purcell. The opening match. I think these guys were. I'll just double check. I think they were on court 3. Yes, they were on show court 3. Max Purcell transitioning into a solid doubles career. He's a very successful doubles player, a finalist at the Australian Open with Matthew Ebden. They lost to the Special Ks in 2022, and then they bounced right back and won the Wimbledon doubles championship last year, Purcell and Ebden. But at the moment, it's Purcell serving for the second set, but Rublev breaks back, and he's leading Purcell 6-3, 4-5. Now, that's interesting. How often do we see that? The better player turning it up a notch when they need to. Happens a lot. So, meanwhile, out on court 12, Harriet Dart has come... Oh, good on her. She's come back from 1-3 down to lead 6-3 in the first set. Is that the first set tiebreaker against the French woman? It looks like it. Okay, so moving on to the next item, and it's great work from Harriet Dart. She has hung in this set really well, just as Parry started quickly. Parry, the French player, has also been in great form recently, and good reason too. Dart's just netted a backhand, but she's in front, 7 games to 6, 4 points up in the tiebreaker. Okay, moving on to the next item that, you don't see this very often. So after losing the first set to Martic, the Croatian, Linda Furtova has received a time violation for taking too long when she left the court. What is going on? All right, she's back now, and she's saved 2 break points and held on for 5-7. She lost the first set there, and she's leading 1-0 in the second set. Now back at the men's 14th seed, the Italian Massetti. He's now won consecutive sets 6-1 against Varela of Argentina. And I've just seen that Parry, the French woman, has seen off a break point in her service game, and she's now holding a 6-7 1-love lead in the second set against Harriet Dart. And oh dear, Andrei Rublev has won 3 games straight and now leading Max Purcell 6-3. Oh dear, that's 7-5. So 2-0. Not the greatest start for Max Purcell, but maybe he can drag it back. So what have we got here? There's a bit of chatter about Nick Kyrgios and his wrist injury. We won't go into that because there's plenty of news around about old box office Nick. So we're the score with Linda Fruhvirtova, the Czech player, 5-7, 2-1 down against Martic. Out on court 2. Joanne Davis, the British player, she is serving for the second set against Jessica Pegula. But look at this, Jessica Pegula, the American, and I just can't recall off the top of my head what she's seeded player. She has broken back for a 6-2, 4-5 lead. So how quickly things can turn around. And going back to the match between Parry and Harriet Dart, the French versus the English player. The Frenchwoman leads 3-love in the second set, and looks like she's got her forehand clicking along very nicely. And what's going on here? Serving on advantage, a foot fault is now a double fault, and it looks like that is Harriet Dart is suddenly down 4-love in the second set. So now that is, oh no, that is the tiebreaker. I beg your pardon. So it looks like we're going to a third set between these two. And what has happened between the American and the other? There's some breaking news here where Joanne Davis has held serve. So Jessica Pegula will now serve for a second set tiebreaker. And, here we go. So she is now 4 in the world, Jessica Pegula. According to this report, almost by stealth, and it looks for all the world like a solid player. Now, I disagree. I'd say anyone who's 4 in the world does have the chops to win a Grand Slam. Come on. Now, the recent winners of Grand Slams, most of them have been surprise winners. Who have a special power. I don't know about that, but when this in relation to Yelena Ostapenko or Krejcikova on their day, but I don't know. But that's a bit harsh about a bit of a harsh comment about Jessica Pegula. She hits a gorgeous backhand hook to break the sideline to make it 6-all in the tiebreaker. And looking over on court 3, Andrei Rublev has broken Max Purcell, and he's already serving for the match at 6-3, 7-5, 5-4. That is not great news for Max Purcell. He'd be wanting to do so much better. And at the same time, Parry, the Frenchwoman, has won that second set to love, 6-love. So they're now going to a third set as well. And, there's the news. Andrei Rublev, the 7th seed. Here's the first result of our particular episode, this live stream. Max Purcell going down in 3 straight sets, 6-3, 7-5, 6-4. And Andrei Rublev, the 7th seed, will now meet either Van Asch or Karatsev next. And currently, Van Asch is leading his match. He won the first set tiebreaker, 7-6, 7 points to 4, and currently down 3-5 in his second set of his match. Moving right along. Now, just before we talking about Van Asch, he's 19 and having a breakthrough season, while Karatsev is older and far more wily. So it'll be an interesting match, whichever of those two gets through their current match, to see which one faces up against Andrei Rublev. Now, back with Parry and Dart. They're in their decider, the third set, and also Pegula and Davis about to begin their decider, third set. Joanne Davis took the tiebreak 10-8, and as it was getting to, Harriet Dart has broken at the first serve, and now she is, she's that close to winning the match that she may soon be just a few points away from booking her spot in round 2. Okay, so let's see. Parry has broken Harriet Dart for their one game each in the third set, so that looks well poised. And just a heads up that on court 1, about to start at 1 p.m. British Standard Time, is Iga Swiatek, the number 1 women's seed, stepping out on centre court. I think it is court 1 against the Chinese player Zhu, and it's not far away that Novak Djokovic will be beginning his match on centre court, his title defence against the Argentinian Pedro Cachin. Oh, look, here's Davis has broken Bakula for 1-love in their deciding set. It looks like the American number 4 seed is in trouble, and Karatsev has levelled at 1-1 against Van Asch. Martic, the Croatian, is serving for a second set break against Linda Fruhvirtova, the Czech player, and Victoria Azarenka is up a break in her deciding set against one of China. So things moving along quickly there. Just keeping an eye on the time. So we're going to wrap this episode up in about 9 minutes and come back in a second instalment just to keep things nice and palatable for your tennis content tastes. Joanne Pegula breaks back against Joanne Davis. They're now 1-1 in their decider. The match, Iga Swiatek and Zhu begin their match, and out on court 5, the women's number 5 seed Caroline Garcia has just started her match against Volnets. And let me just double check. I'm not familiar with Volnets. So Caroline Garcia of France playing the American player Volnets out on court 3. Well, not out. That's one of the show courts. Come on. So let's see if there's any news about Harriet Dart. She is serving miserably. A miserable second serve from Harriet Dart. And it sits up so nicely for the Frenchwoman Parry and invites her. That's exactly what she does. She climbs into that, that very poor return, that poor serve, and spanks it across court forehand that facilitates a put-away shot, and that gives the Frenchwoman a break, and she leads 3-1 in the third. And serving the return service game from the Frenchwoman, you're not going to believe this. Harriet Dart has raced out to a love 40 lead. She's all of a sudden got 3 breakback points and secures a break. Well done, Harriet Dart. She had to really lift her intensity there, and she's been hitting it harder. She could have played it safe. So the Poms are absolutely cock-a-hoop with Harriet getting back a break service game. Okay, we've got a game result in the men's. The 14th seed, the Italian Lorenzo Musetti, has beaten the Argentinian in 3 sets, 6-3, 6-1, 7-5. So that's a pretty comfortable passage through round 1 for Musetti, the young Italian. And his next opponent will either be John Isner or John Isner's opponent, Muno. He recently got a real... Roland Garros, he got a real pounding from Alcaraz in their match. So he's got a bit of work to do on his game, but he will go into the sheds very happy with how things have panned out. So we've been going about 25 minutes, so I think that's a pretty good time to do this. And as we get back to normal normal service will resume. So that's our second instalment for As It Happened, first round day one at Wimbledon 2023. So that's our first attempt at bringing you all the what's our favourite turn of phrase for this? It is, or we've just brought you all the results, the match play, the scores, the tears, the tantrums, the injury timeouts, and everything else in between. So that's our radio style, audio only coverage of Wimbledon day one. And we're not finished there, because we're basically just getting our teeth into it, but we only want to go for a half an hour at most at the time. We don't want to overwhelm people. We also want all the results to be fairly easy to find. So let us know what you think. Just let me do a bit of admin here. No, that's not that's not what I wanted. Just excuse me while I do a bit of admin in the background here. So you're listening to The Bloke Who Walks, and this is This Australian Open Live. We're bringing you audio only radio style coverage of Wimbledon 2023, first round day one, As It Happened. And don't go away, we'll be right back later on this morning, Melbourne time,